I'm assuming that people like J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and Pete Hegseth, I'm assuming that they're Christian conservatives. I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume that these people are pro-life, right? It's kind of ironic if you think about it, because just recently they were on stage peacocking and posturing for war, right? The United States and Israel will walk in, they'll clear out Gaza, they'll do what they have to do, and then they'll profit from rebuilding Gaza and taking control over it. They're getting us into war, and they're letting the whole world know, right? They're letting the whole world know our position, but it's not really our position. It's not the position of the American people. Aren't we supposed to share in the prosperity brought to us by our leaders that we elected? But it's like the opposite is true. The best thing these people can do is get behind Israel, right? These people are openly announcing where they stand and where their allegiances lie. And they're proud of it. And that's the sad part, right? Because as an American, we're all just staring at a broken system. A system that's corrupt and no longer functions, right? It's become pretty sad. All of these people are puppets, I think. Maybe they have no other way to make a living, no other way to run their business, to take care of their family, to make money, and to survive, right? Maybe this is all they really have. If they do what's right for the American people, well, maybe that'll leave them in a pretty bad position. Maybe they'll lose everything, so we can all see what the top looks like. It looks like a pretty sad show to me. Why are these people fighting so hard to make it to the top, to make it to a position of power? Because we can see what the top looks like. It's corruption, it's lies, it's manipulation, it's hypocrisy, it's propaganda, it's the enslavement of the people who are beneath them. That's all it is, right? It seems like capitalism and democracy aren't mixing too well, if you ask me. Yeah, it seems like the two can't really coexist. Because it seems like money is power, and the people don't have any power because we don't have any money, and all of our tax dollars go to foreign aid, helping another country. Some people in politics, well, there's people who are fighting, at least. People who are on the interviews and on the podcast trying to fight. So I think we all need to participate in that. We have to let our voices become heard, right? We have to speak out a little bit, because I would like to call them out on their position on pro-life and abortion, right? Because it's obvious that these people are not pro-life. These people are pro-death. I want to make a distinction between my life and that of a fetus, right? Because it's a pretty clear distinction. So, if you're pro-life, that's fine. You know, you're entitled to your own opinion. But the reason why I'm even talking about this topic is because I want to expose our leaders as frauds. Because I believe that these people are frauds. I'm someone who's 40 years old, right? I've been alive for 40 years. I've met many people. I've gone to school. I grew up. I went to college. I've been walking around here for a long time. Working my ass off. Working 2 jobs. Contributing to a community. Making these videos, right? I have a consciousness. People know my thoughts. They know my ideas. They might watch my videos. They might recognize my face. Maybe they've seen me. Maybe they've met me, right? I've worked for a lot of businesses, and I've done a lot. If somebody comes to murder me, well, I think that's a little bit different than if somebody decided to terminate a fetus, right? There's a big difference there. But people will say, well, it's life, and life is sacred, right? And all life is equal. All life is equal, yep. We can really see that in the world that we're living in. We can really see that within the government, right? We can see that all life is sacred, and all life is equal. And you want to talk to a Christian conservative about it? Well, just ask Erica Kirk about how she feels about pro-life, yeah. Honeypot, Erica Kirk, right? Ask her if she knows what a honeypot is, right? Yeah. You want to know about pro-life? Ask Erica Kirk about what she thinks about pro-life, you know. Ask her what her husband's doing right now, yeah. Ask her what her husband, Charlie Kirk, is doing right now. Ask her how she feels about pro-life. That's how these people are, right? It's a fucking joke. These people will do anything and everything to increase their power. And that's just the way of the world, and that's the way that it's always been, right? We've always known it, but the thing is, in the past, we didn't have social media, and people's lives were decent, right? People had enough money, they had a family, they had a house, right? Their family was taken care of, and they can get jobs, and they can afford groceries, they can afford a home, but it's like once you take away those things, right, you become more exposed, because right now, people can't afford education, people are paying all these taxes, they can't afford a home, they can't afford groceries, they can't afford to live, and it's like we're becoming more poor. And it seems like all of our tax money is going toward foreign countries, all sorts of foreign schemes, all sorts of manipulation, control, propaganda. It seems like we're not fixing the problems in our own country, right? We're not putting America first. This isn't America great again because people are starving, right? Let's say that there's people in Gaza who are in need. And let's say that their ships headed their way to provide them with aid. Well, we might participate in blocking aid from reaching these people who are starving. And we're paying for it too. The taxpayer is paying for it. Let's say that we have people who are junkies and fentanyl addicts, right? And they're walking around on fentanyl hunched over, right? Maybe they need help, but our solution is to bomb Venezuela, right? War, bombs, pro-life stuff, right? Pro-life stuff. So it's hard for me to believe that these people are pro-life. It's hard for me to believe that a fetus is equal to a starving human being. It's just not, right? There's a distinction to be made, right? Just like there is a distinction in any topic. And the reason why I want to talk about this topic, even though it's a sensitive topic, is because I want to expose our leaders as frauds, right? Because these people, like Vance, Rubio, Hegseth, well, they're all full of crap, right? These people are not pro-life. They're pro-war and they're pro-death, and they tell you about it, right? They stand up there on stage and they tell the United States to prepare for war. And that's exactly what they're going to do. I'm sorry, people, but that's not pro-life, but these are our elected leaders. Guys, what we're seeing in the world right now is pretty bad stuff, right? We're seeing pretty bad stuff, and we're seeing people who are rising to the top because they have money. They have money, and our government is bought. And our government has become very sad and very corrupt. It's just like watching just a sad, broken down machine, right? A machine that is so obsolete and so worn out that it's basically just trying to drag itself to the finish line, right? The thing barely works anymore. It's broken. It's broken down. There's fucking smoke coming out of it. There's little pieces falling off of it, right? There's pieces jangling, falling off, right? That's our government. That's our Congress, right? These are our elected officials. People who proclaim their allegiance to a foreign country because that's all they have left, right? That's how they cling to whatever is left for them, right? Because these people have no real value. Their value is definitely not to the American people. It's not to putting America first. It's not to making America great again, right? It's to a desperate last-ditch effort to hold on to their position, right? and their position is clear. It's not America first, right? But the United States is falling apart, I think. That line between the right and the left is starting to become blurry, because you see a lot of people on the internet saying things like, I never thought that I would agree with MTG. I never thought I would agree with Candace Owens. I never thought I would agree with Anna Kasparian. I never thought I would agree with Tucker. It's like all of these figures are fighting against this corrupt establishment. That's not America first, right? Are we outnumbered? That's the question, right? That's what I want to find out. I want to know if the people like them, if the people like me, if we're outnumbered, or if we're actually, or if our numbers are actually overwhelmingly enormous compared to these people in the ruling class, right? The people who have risen to the top, the people who have created their wealth and their position based on all sorts of corruption, manipulation, propaganda, abuse, fraud, and anti-American policies. It seems like our solution to everything is just to use military strikes, drones, surveillance, military intervention, bombing countries, bombing Iran, bombing Venezuela, which hasn't happened yet to my knowledge, but it seems like that's our solution to stop the flow of drugs, to stop the flow of fentanyl, to bomb Venezuela, right? That's how we're going to improve the lives of American people. But we pay taxes even though we didn't vote for it, even though we didn't support it, right? So we don't have the support of our leaders. The system is broken, and we're becoming more poor, right? We're basically just becoming robbed. We're becoming robbed in broad daylight, and we're being lied to, and it's always been like this, but the reason why it's not working any longer is because we can't afford homes, we're not having families, we can't get good jobs, we can't afford anything. In the past, it may have worked if people were still able to take care of their families, if they were still able to get jobs, if they were still able to get homes, but right now that doesn't work anymore because our government is under the control of another government, and conspiracy is policy, and all of our money goes toward the billionaires, and it goes toward this foreign country. It's for their benefit and for their profit, right? And it goes toward the enslavement of the population, right? It's anti-American, but people still support it.